All right, Pumpkin Jack being reviewed on the Xbox Series X. Game file is pretty small. I was actually pretty taken back by how small this game is. 1.79 gigabytes large. It is very, 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 very small. So even if you have a massive wall of games on your hard drive, you should be fine finding under 2 gig of storage space to squeeze this bad boy in. Digital price is $24.99. I was lucky enough to get a review code for the game, but I am still reviewing it based on that price point of $24.99. The publisher is Dead Up Games. They've done quite a few other games itself. You can look on the Xbox list or even Google it and you'll find all the lists that they currently have. But I saw Pumpkin Jack last year. I know it's a last year title, but I saw it and I was like, I probably want to review this at some stage because I love Halloween and I love the whole concept of horror. Not horror, but well, yeah, horror. But running around as a bad guy always gets my pulse going. I love playing as the bad guy in games, and this is something that you definitely do. So everything that's written down is going to be talked about last. What we're going to do is go through the review breakdown template that I always use. That way we talk about the exact same things in every single review and we're as fair as possible. So the very first thing that we're going to look into and talk about is the choice of music used. And I have to say, me and my community absolutely digged the soundtrack to this game from start to finish. The soundtrack in this game is absolutely phenomenal. They did a fantastic job. It works so well within the game itself. A lot of the levels have their own unique theme tune that goes very well with the level that you're in. And they've also got the Halloween vibe to the songs as well. They do vocals within some of the songs itself, and I'm not used to saying lyrics. I'm talking like orchestra vocals. And I was completely and utterly gobsmacked at how good the audio was in this game. I thought the music, like I said, was phenomenal. But in terms of the effects and the voice acting, I can't fault it one bit at all. It was clear, it was understandable, and you can put subtitles in there as well in case you're hard of hearing, or if you need to read, if you prefer to read, then actually listen. But I was taken back. I thought they did a fantastic job. Some criticism around the voice acting is not bad. It's just my opinion itself. This game is targeted at Peggy 12. It's targeted at the youngsters and the teenagers as well. Don't get me wrong. There are some great references in this game for the adults to look at and find and enjoy. But there is quite a bit of reading. And if you want my honest opinion, I think this game would have done far better if it had voicing for the characters itself, so the kids who play this game can sit back, they can watch the cutscenes, they can watch the interactions that you have with NPCs, and they can just listen to the vocal interaction between them instead of just sitting there and read. Because sometimes kids get very bored of reading and they tend to either skip or just not pay attention and they just ignore it and they move on. So just my little thing. Again, this isn't going to impact the review scoring, to be fair, but I would have loved it if it was if all the characters were vocal. They all had their own unique voice actor, and you could sit there and listen to the interaction with the characters themselves. But that's just my opinion. That's what it is. Graphics, texturing, weather effects. This game is. It's not a game that they spent hundreds and thousands of pounds on high-end graphics. It's not. It looks very vibrant, very colourful. It fits the Halloween type vibe, and in my opinion, it looked absolutely fantastic. It really did. And the style that they went with, the ambient background colouring that they used, it was lots of purples, lots of orange and reds, and it was all dark. Like darkness vibe, and I absolutely loved it. I thought they did a fantastic job with how the game looked itself. Even the fire effects on the ground looked absolutely fantastic when they went off and burnt the hell out of my character. But I really enjoyed it. Visually to look at, If they ever do another game, I would probably go with a different color palette this time itself, just so people don't get used to the same color scheme all the time. Some levels did have some of the same color schemes, but again, it didn't really bother me at all, and I thought the game looked very, 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 very good for what it was. Glitches and bugs. We did a whole playthrough today, just around about 6 hours of game time, and I didn't fall through the map. I was able to fall through some roof textures, but I don't think I was supposed to go in that area, so I don't really consider that as a bug or anything broken. I'm trying to think if anything. Nothing spoiled the gameplay for me in any way. Just trying to think. I know I've got some stuff written down, so I'm going to wait with that one, move on to the next one, and if I've got anything written down in terms of bugs, then we'll bring it up straight away. Gameplay and mechanics. If you are a fan of games like Medieval, for example, then you're going to automatically love a game like this because it uses pretty much the same concept. It really does. And I used to play Medieval on the PlayStation 1, and I had an absolute blast with that game. So, again, if it's very basic, very simplified, very easy to do. It was easily targeted, like I said, for the Peggy 12 group, the teenagers and the youngsters itself. I generally don't think they would struggle that hard with a game like this. I think they would get into the game. They would be comfortable at the level of difficulty. They would adjust to the difficulty as it went up throughout the game. But the gameplay was just humorous, fun, enjoyable, exciting, and it kept me wanting to play more and more and more and more. We did a whole playthrough, like I said, in one session, from start to finish. But yeah, the gameplay, fantastic, easy. You shouldn't really have any difficulties playing it. I'm just going to say that. And again, if you're a fan of those type of games, you're going to fall right into it very easily, and you're going to have no problem with it at all. There is a load of references in this game to other classic games like Donkey Kong and. Well, I'm not gonna say more because I don't want to in any way spoil the way that this game plays out. But I had so much fun playing it. The replayability and game difficulty. There is replayability in this game because there are collectibles that you can find within all levels, just like games like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario. Well, not Mario. Banjo-Kazooie would definitely be a good link to a game like this, and Medieval would be another one. Spyro the Dragon would be another one as well, because they're all very, very, very similar type games. So yes, there is replayability in this game, and the achievements that are connected to this game are super easy to get. So if you're an achievement hunter and you love to get the whole load of them, you're gonna find this game pretty easy to get. Well, if you just get all the collectibles and go through all the game from start to finish, you're going to pretty much score out a whole 1,000 game score on Xbox, or on the PlayStation. You're going to get all the trophies, etc., etc. So game difficulty, as I said before, did not really find this game difficult at all. The bosses were all unique. They all looked absolutely fantastic. Their model designs were so good. The color effects that they use, each boss again used different special powers, so you won't go from one boss to the next thinking it's just going to be it's the same thing over and over and over again. They don't recycle the enemies, the bosses in this game at all. So every boss has its own unique style of techniques and moves, and you need to figure them out in able to counteract them and then destroy the boss and then win the game. With every boss defeated, you get a unique special weapon, and you get to take that weapon into the next level and utilize that weapon's unique abilities and moveset. And there are some very cool weapons in this game. I'm not gonna lie. I was a big fan of the gun, the sword, the scythe, even the special powers that you get itself. But there are more weapons that you get throughout your whole journey of the game itself. And you start off with a simple rusty shovel, and you go around smacking enemies about with a shovel. And the more you get through it, the more unlockables that you get, and the more stuff that you get, which is pretty great. There are, like I said, there are collectibles within the game. There are music players that you need to find. Each one basically just gets your character to do a little boogie dance throughout the level, which we found humorous. We was expecting to see maybe the floss or maybe some more Fortnite dances within the game itself, and yeah, I was hoping not to see the floss of all things, because that just annoys the hell out of me. But if you're able to collect all of the crow skulls, you can go to a merchant and basically buy new skins for your character. And there are, if I remember right, around about 6 different skins. Each one goes up in value. And pretty much if you collect every one of the collectibles, you'll automatically be able to afford all of the costumes and outfits. And you just have to basically just select which one you want to run around with, and that's it. It's really, really, really simple. Any game customization and stats building. Stats building is not applicable, so we move that along. We ignore that because it's not an RPG. Any game customization is pretty much just the costumes. Pumpkin Jack, as I said, you start off with the default. You collect the skulls, you sell them to the merchant, and then you get different variations of Pumpkin Jack's outfits and costumes that you get to wear throughout the game. So that's the only customization that you pretty much have. There is no other options there. And there could have been far more, in my opinion, and we'll talk about that during my notes that I wrote down. Story, if applicable, you are the bad guy taking over the world. It's not often that you get to play as the bad guy. The majority of all these story games that you play nowadays are all, you're the legend, you're the hero, you're off to save the princess and destroy the dragons and save the world and all that loveliness. In this game, you are the bad guy, sent to Earth via the devil to pretty much destroy everything, which is fantastic. I'm not going to say more than that because I am not going to go into story spoilers and how the story plays out itself, but it is just, I just love playing as the bad guy in games. The last game that I played that I thoroughly enjoyed being a bad guy was X-Morph Defense. It blew me away. That game was absolutely fantastic. And again, in this game, you're running around and I just loved it. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Online co-op modes, features, and stability. There is nothing online. This is a full offline single player experience only. There is nothing online at all. No co-op play, couch co-op, none of that. One player, boom, move on, done. Purchase price versus digital price and value of content. I'm going to talk about value of content at the end after I've read through my notes itself, but purchase price, it's a $24.99 digital download only in the UK. I couldn't find any copies in the UK. I don't know if you got any copies in the US, any physical copies that you can actually hold on to and buy. But for me, it was just go on to the store and there it is right there. Off you go, download it, buy it, and enjoy it. So it is basically just as a digital pricing only, $24.99. It'll probably be exactly the same on all the other consoles. And I can tell you quickly, did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down. Pumpkin Jack. PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Android, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox One. So yeah, it's pretty much available on all consoles across all platforms, and it should be around about the exact same price, around $24.99. Unless you're able to get it on a sale, cool, good job. But we'll talk about value of content after. Microtransactions and DLC. There are no microtransactions. There are no DLC. Thank God, because we hate that in games. But I'm glad. I'm glad that there isn't, because I'm sick and tired of games being ruined by corporate microtransactions. It just ruins everything. That's pretty much the script that I go through with every game. Now it's important to talk about what I wrote down, because during the game I get thoughts, we see things, and I love to take notes. So I found the very first thing that I found in the game itself. I went into the options, because I always go into the options at the start of any game. I went to the field of view tab, and when I increased it to 100 and then tried to decrease it, it kept bugging the D-pad's cursor and removing it. So I had to go through the menu to the field of view, shift it, which then again knocked me out, and keep doing that over and over again until I put it back to normal. Simple patch, simple update, problem solved. It didn't do it in the game, during the game when I went into the options. It only did it on the main menu. So I'm pretty sure it's just a simple bug. Patch it, move on. Very, very, very good. Verbal dialogues would have worked better for kids. I still stand by that in my opinion. I do still stand by that in my opinion. Multiple achievement referencing other games. The very first achievement reference that we saw was Crash Bandicoot. That made me laugh a lot. I was like, no way they've put game references in this. But not only game references, but movie reference as well. We saw some Harry Potter references. We saw some Star Wars references, some South Park references. It was awesome to see that stuff, because it was humorous. It worked very, very well. And if you're a part of the older generation like myself, you should pretty much understand them all and get them all. I'm just saying, youngsters may not get the majority of them purely because they're younger, but for us adults, no problem, you should be able to understand them all. The bobbing camera while attacking, it was throwing me off a lot at the beginning of the game. I won't lie, after a while I got comfortable with it and I adjusted to it, but the bobbing up and down as you were attacking was just a little bit just meh. I don't know if you want to add an option to that to turn that off and on to give the player the choice of doing that, because it was throwing me off sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. No boss health bar. It would have been nice to see it. I know the bosses had 3 hit stages, but it would have been nice for maybe enemies to have small enemy health bars, and the boss having a big nice red health bar with a little image icon of the boss's face. I found that this game had a major lack in user interface stuff. I didn't know if that was a purposely done thing because they just wanted it to be your health bar and nothing more, but they could have added a few more aspects to this game to make it visually pop, and having the items that you were trying to find, all the collectibles, maybe in the top right hand side, enemy little health bars and boss health bars, would have actually added a little bit more onto the screen and would have been better for me, in my opinion. I think it would have looked better. That's all I'm saying. Oh, we saw this goes to the glitches and bugs. Every time we completed a level, we went to a loading screen and we went back to the game, there was a damaged graphic. The whole screen would just go all pixelated and funny, and then it would stop and go straight into the game. I don't know if that's everyone's seeing that on any console. If it is, it's most likely just a damaged texture. It needs to be patched and then fixed, and all happy days. Button prompts should always show. Okay, I found this pretty annoying at times. Just a little bit annoying. When you're first taught on how to do things in the game, the Y button pretty much becomes the interactive button. Sometimes you would see push Y appear. Sometimes you wouldn't see push Y appear. And just roll down a patch just to make sure that prompt always appears on everything that could be prompted with a Y button. I just think it would be a better idea, because I generally do think it's bugged. I don't, because it appeared sometimes and not other times. So I think it's a bug. Idle conversations between Jack and his bird companion would have been nice for humor. You do get small interactions as you're going through at certain points within the game, but it would have been nice if there was a little bit of an interaction between the two characters when you're idle, maybe when you're standing still for a little bit of time. I just think it would have been fun to see. And again, if they were voiced, they could actually talk trash to each other, and I think that would have added way more humor to the game as well. pumpkin coin currency could have been a thing to allow more purchases on cosmetics and extra items within the game. I'm going to still stand by that. I am still going to stand by that. The reason why it got me thinking is because while playing this game, it did remind me of other games like, again, Medieval, Spyro, Banjo-Kazooie, and then, you know, currency collecting like Sonic and his hoops and Mario and his coins is always just a nice little extra gimmick within the game. The player doesn't have to pick up all the coins, but it's some, you know, if you're like me and you like picking up every shiny, it adds more gameplay time and it adds more variety within the game, because you can then allow the player to spend those items on even more cosmetics for maybe Jack and his bird, or even weapon skins, or maybe even like extra health bar, extra defense, for anyone that may be finding this game just a wee bit too difficult, because there is no difficulty option. It just went new game, straight into the game itself. So if a kid's finding this game too difficult, they could spend those coin currencies on like an extra life, or maybe customization options, skin options, and stuff like that. It's just a thought. It's not going to dock any points off the review. It's just an added idea. That's all I'm saying. Funny enemy lore. What I mean by this, and it's not a massive thing, but I think it would have been funny to have. As you're running around, you do meet brand new enemies. I think it would have been humorous more than anything else to have a little enemy lore book that you could go into. When you fought one of those enemies, that enemy gets put into that lore book. You can go into the book, you can see a detailed picture of it up close, and you can see a little funny script that tells you about the enemy, where they came from, you know, what their abilities are. And it could be voice prompted. You just push a button and the narrator will tell you about the enemy. Again, just adding more content to the game to give it some more volume. That's all I'm saying. The funny little dances when finding the audio collectibles. The classic music references in this game were absolutely phenomenal. If you are a fan of classical music, you're going to hear like Beethoven, Mozart, and stuff like that. And if you love that, you're gonna get that extra vibe, and you're going to enjoy it. Incredible soundtrack. Left trigger and right trigger were not even utilized in this game at all. You could push a button that brought up a weapon wheel. And I was saying to my community during the game, wouldn't it be nice as well if you could just quick cycle through weapons with the triggers? Just an option. I just think it might have given the player the feel of being able to chain combos by switching weapons mid combo and stuff like that by just simple left trigger, right trigger. Just a thought. Not on Game Pass. This is all just a business move. This game would have been perfect for Game Pass, in my opinion. I'm guessing, they either didn't do it because they couldn't do it. They didn't do it because they wanted to just make more profit from it. But either way, it's a game I feel suited for Game Pass if they want to put it on it down the line. Playing as the bad guy is always fun. Always fun. The achievement names are hilarious as hell. You are going to enjoy watching them pop up. You're going to enjoy reading what they say, and you're going to enjoy going into the game into the tab menu, going down your achievement list and reading all of them back to yourself and finding which ones you've missed. This is something that's confused me quite a bit. I'm not going to lie. There are 6 levels throughout the game itself. Do I find the game short? I'd say short to medium-ish. I wouldn't say it's long. Short to medium. I'd be in that comfort zone there. But during the credits scene, there were preview of what the game used to look like during the development of the game. And in I think it's actually 2 or 3 of the pictures, there was something related to a spider and spider boss, which could have also been a spider level. That would have got me massively excited to play that level. I am not gonna lie. If it's something that they took out of the game, That's a bad move. They should have left it in there and have it as one of the levels to add an extra maybe hour of gameplay to it. I mean, we love destroying spiders. Spiders in video games can either creep people out or get people excited. And not having it in the main game, I felt like they took a good gem out of the game, and it could have been a thing. Concept art and credits, we've already spoken about that. 6 levels in total with 120 crow skulls to collect. The replayability is definitely there because of the collectibles, and on one playthrough, my ending achievements in one sitting was, I didn't write it down, 27 over 33. I missed 5 of these bird skulls. Out of 120, I missed 5. I thought, I was bloody proud of myself, to be fair. I was proud of myself. I'm not going to knock it. So, we're going to talk about value of content. Is there value of content here for a $24.99 game? Now, I am very grateful that they didn't opt at doing this for like 35, 45, because that I would have said immediately no. No, not for a 6-hour game. 35, 45 pound, which would have been like $40, $45. No. The game was $24.99. Do I feel value of content is there for $24.99? 70% yes. I would say 70% yes. I feel if they would have left that spider level in, and if any of the ideas that I brought up maybe were chucked into the game as well to add more context and add more depth to the game itself, then I would have been, oh hell yes, 100%. $19.99 is probably the perfect price point for this game. $19.99, £20, or $25 for you guys over across the pond. That's just my opinion, but I am super grateful that they at least didn't opt for going for a ridiculously high price, because that itself would have impacted my review scoring, because, you know, we don't like greed. We do not like greed at all. And making it cheaper, you've got more value for money, in my opinion, with everything that I've brought up. And the game is so much freaking fun. So what it boils down to right now, pretty much, is would I recommend this game, and a scoring out of 10. So I'm going to start off with the easiest option. The easiest option, would I recommend this game? 100%, oh hell yes. It's fun. It's childlike. It soothed me in a way, because it was a simple, enjoyable, fun kiddie game to play, and I loved every second of it. I am not lying in any way around this. I found it thoroughly fun, and if my stream was saved in a VOD, you would see it from start to finish in the 6 hours that I was enjoying the hell out of it. I really, really, really was. If you can get it for £20, that's your value of content right there. Value of content. The perfect price point. If you're into Halloween, if you're into being the bad guy, it's going to cater to those people way more, because, you know, the doom, gloom, spooky vibes, just they filled me with joy. So if we fill you with joy as well. Now it boils down to scoring out of 10. There are, like I said, there are a lot of missed opportunities in this game. There are a lot. I wrote down more than I usually would do. The game is extremely simple, very simple, and there is a lack of some content. If they would have kept the spider level in there, it would have definitely helped this review. It would have. But with everything that I spoke about, everything that I talked about, there wasn't anything majorly bad. Like broken, unplayable mess, pile of doo-doo. You know, it didn't break, it didn't crash, it didn't corrupt. It was fun from start to finish, and we had no problems. So that puts a lot of weight into the scoring, hands down. It really, 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 really does. There is, like I said, a lot of things that are missing that I felt should have been in the game. So with everything in mind, just my opinion, I feel comfortable giving this game an 8.5 out of 10. I feel that is a perfect scoring for the content that they provide based on a small team, and I do feel 8.5 out of 10 is justified. That's just my opinion. Let me know in the YouTube comments down below what you thought. If you think I was unfair, if you think I just butchered the review, give us your feedback, because I'll always interact with the comments down below in the video. But I do hope this review has helped you guys make a decision whether or not you want to go ahead and buy it yourself. I've kept it as spoiler free as possible, as always. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.